Ordinary tested today.
Okay, back over to you, Nate.
Yeah, I've got a lot going on today. Over the past few days, 24 ordinary Australians have had the rather extraordinary task of weighing up the pros and cons of some cutting-edge science. The aim of the citizens' jury is to consider the legal, social and ethical issues on things including human genome editing. One of the researchers is Professor Simon Niemeyer, head of Australia's Centre for Deliberative Democracy and Global Governance at the University of Canberra. He joins us now from Canberra, along with one of the jurors, Angus Ashton Hicks. Good morning, gentlemen. Simon, can I start with you? What was this all about?
This was an event which was about bringing citizens together with the science to develop a conversation on an issue that we're not having a public conversation about in terms of the implications of genome editing, which brings into play all sorts of questions about how we use genome editing in ways that potentially change the way we think about our relationship with genetics.
And you're an expert in this field, but Angus, what's your background with genomics?
No formal background. I'm just a randomly selected Australian citizen. I suppose it's fascinating to me, and I've spent a while Googling it over the years, but realistically, if you'd asked me if I'd be comfortable having an ethical discussion about the dilemmas we're facing, I don't know if I would have been, but really, when you give people the opportunity to do it and set the right basis, the right sort of environment of respect, people are a lot more capable of these conversations than you would think.
Now, Simon, how important is it to get the opinions and the thoughts of everyday Australians versus the people that are steeped in the research?
Oh, it's very important. So experts can understand the science itself, but they can't necessarily understand what the community wants and their aspirations, and it's hard to understand what the community wants if the community doesn't get a chance to interact with the science. So this is a very important opportunity to bring those two together.
And Angus, did you learn anything, do you reckon?
Oh, absolutely. We've been talking about the differences between germline and somatic editing, so whether these changes can be passed on to the next generation or whether they end with the person receiving the treatment. We've learnt about a lot of different perspectives, religious, the social impacts. We've heard from a member of the disability community. So yeah, we've learnt quite a lot, possibly a bit much for the length of time we had, but it's been an amazing experience.
I wonder, you don't necessarily need to tell me exactly where your thoughts lie, but did you have a change of heart on anything to do with genome editing over this weekend? Or did you just form an opinion for the first time, perhaps?
Yeah, look, I was pretty open-minded from the get-go. Personally, I've been thinking that a lot of the concerns are blown up and driven by Hollywood, but I can absolutely see why people are worried about this. I suppose I've gotten a bit more faith in the science and the people who are doing it and their intentions. I think it's always still worth questioning those things, but yeah, just a lot more firmness on the ability for people to have this conversation and the science involved.
It's really important to be able to have a conversation, and Simon, I agree. What happens now, though? You've had this chat, 24 people learning all about it and coming up with some ideas. Where does it go?
There's a few places this is going now. We've got some work to do to pull together the recommendations that the participants pulled together yesterday and combine them with some more background information, and also filter it through a range of experts in terms of working through the implications for what recommendations we make in terms of the science. And then after going through that process, we're going to feed that back to the participants to make sure they're happy with what we've written, and then feed that through to decision makers. We had a number of decision makers from various regulatory organisations there on the weekend who are really interested in hearing the results. But the other part of this, which is really important, is another objective of this project is to try and feed that information to the rest of the community. We have a documentary film partner, Gene Pool Productions, who are working on putting together a documentary on the science, but also on the science through the lens of the participants. They were here filming on the weekend as well. So there'll be a sort of an interaction, hopefully, with the community who get to see that documentary.
A very big and important part of the discussion we need to be having as a nation. Professor Simon Niemeyer and Angus Ashton Hicks, thank you so much for getting up early for us in a very chilly Canberra.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, mate.
Michael, Lisa, big conversation to be having, and glad we've got some ordinary Australians having it.
Yeah.